dying just a couple hours ago. Um, my mother transitioned, um, and I had been thinking about the whole idea of death and dying um, for a while because uh, she had been uh, reaching that point for some time, and even through some of our conversations, had talked about death and dying, and her uh, that she was ready to make that transition. And it's really hard to believe that, for us who are younger and everyone that still have so much life and things that are left, and things that we want to do or we think that we are called to do. Um, that's not something that we think about, death and dying. But in this particular case, my mother had talked. We had talked on numerous occasions about death and dying. So that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. The reality of the circle of life. My mother um, just turned 93, and I had just seen her a few weeks ago, um, and the transition from wellness to that threshold is something that we know not when, the day, time, or hour, but something that comes to visit all of us. In that it comes to visit all of us, then it's a situation that we have to first um, dot our I's and cross our T's as much as possible, and prepare for ourselves and for our loved ones, which is what I was able to do with my mother, at least from the perspective that I was comfortable with and that she was comfortable with. And I want to thank all the people that have uh, prayed and sent their condolences and their well wishes to my family. Thank you so very, very much. To those that I've talked to and have literally have comforted me, and you know who you are. Thank you so much. Um, your words of encouragement and insight and experience in these matters have been a wealth of comfort for me. So thank you. Um, again, me and my mother had talked about this day and how she had been looking forward to moving on at her age. And I even asked her one time. I asked her. I said, "Are you looking? Would you be interested in being 100?" She said no. She had no interest in being 100. And to some of us, we might find that strange. But yeah, she didn't want to be 100 years old. Death means so much, so different of a thing to so many of us. Um, I've talked about this, with clients and with my patients, and I've talked with family members, and I've had uh, transitions in the last year. I've had my oldest brother, my sister above me, and my mother transition in the last no more than the last year and a half at the most. So the old adage, it comes in threes and all those kinds of things. But anyway, the bottom line is, in talking with her, she had no desire to be 100, and so for some of us, because death is something that we see as being final. I don't like the word death. I use it because people better understand it. But the word that I truly prefer to use is the word transition, because I believe that it's more of a transition than it is death. Um, sure, it's the end of the individual that we have that has transitioned, without a shadow of doubt. Um, they're gone, and they're gone for good, but yet they're gone in the physical sense, but not so much in a mental or in a spiritual sense, because um, the life that they've had, you now have that same life, that same life force that they no longer have, you still have. Not only that, but you have the memory of them, and the memories of them play a part in you being able to keep them with you. remembering the good times. And we all have good times and bad times. And believe me, we had some bad ones. But the bottom line is, it's more important to remember the good times, to remember the times that bring a smile, that reminds you of something that's pleasant, because that's what's more important than remembering some of the other tough times that have occurred. Because we all go through them. I don't care who you are. You go through tough times with those that you love and that you uh, share life with. So when it comes to the idea of death, death is a circle of life. It's the transition of a life that leaves this realm to return to the realm in which it came from. And that's why a lot of times when I talk about this whole idea of death, I always talk about return to source. I hear the RIP, but I say RTS, return to source, because that's where we go. We go back to where we were prior to coming here. What does that feel like? What is that like? We don't know, because before coming here, we had no memory of it. So it's not pleasant. It's not unpleasant. It's just something that we know not of. So when our loved ones transition and stepping back to or return to source, it is a time of reflection, as I'm doing today, and as some of the phone calls that I received helped me to do, um, and even to bring a smile and a laugh. I'm thankful for that. Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, I live numerous amount of hours from where my mother lives, and so today I had an inkling to call her. I had an inward witness, if you would, to call her, and it was difficult because when calling her, my mother's been in hospice since Saturday, and so in calling, I got the secretary, and the secretary told me she was going to get the nurse to call me back, and I knew that I was not going to allow that, because I knew it was important to talk to her. And so I got the nurse on the line, and the nurse said to me that I would be able to, I asked her, should I come it would take me about an hour or so to fly, but it would take me numerous amount of hours to drive. And so she said, if I were you, I would come. And I said, okay, but let's do this. I would like to speak to her. So she allowed me to talk to my mother. The phone was placed to my mother's ear, and me and my mother had some words. We had time of prayer and reflection, and I hope to believe that. I believe that she was cognizant enough, conscious enough, alert enough to understand. But at the same time, I did hear her say what she always says when I call her, and that is, "Hi, babe." It was not the normal way. It was, hard to distinguish, but that's what I gained and gleaned from it. And and so it's a time of reflection. It's time when death comes. It's a time of reflection of cleaning the slate. Okay, cleaning the slate. It's not about the hurts and the pains and the disappointments. It's not about that anymore. All that has passed, or is about to pass. It can pass if we would allow it to pass. But we want to carry that is nourishing, wholesome, clean, and loving, and kind and compassionate relative to our loved one. So we were able to, I hope to, and like to believe, mend some fences, and to embrace for the last time, and to hear her say and try to speak what I deemed trying to speak but unable to speak, says that and that we were able to mend some things, and to know that she was comforted and at peace and at rest, also gave me even more constellation um, about what and where she was and what she was doing. Um, Consolation, not constellation. Consolation. I'm all over the place. I apologize, because you, even in this time, there's still reflection. There is time, ideas, and things that go But I still am so happy to be able to be the last one to speak to her. Because once I hung up, 10 minutes later, I was told that she transitioned. Um, I'm uh, I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak to her. Never take it for granted, regardless of what happened in the past. Take advantage of the moment. Take advantage of the time that you have remaining, regardless of how it may manifest itself. In the time that my mother was preparing, a couple weeks ago I went to see her, and matter of fact, it was a week ago. I went to see her and spend some time with her, and just to talk with her, and to see her eat. For it's probably the last time. It actually was the last time I physically was in her presence, and to spend time with her. So even with those that are transitioning and haven't transitioned yet, with all that you can, see them, be in their presence, touch them, kiss them, do the things that you know that are the right things to do. Forgetting those things that are behind, but we press on, right? We press on. We press on to forgive, right? We press on. We're not going to forget it, but we forgive. We release the emotions, the negative energy that was connected with any of those things that come to mind. Because you can't help what comes to your mind, but you can help the emotional and the energy that's attached to it. You can reconcile it, release it, and let it go. I know that many of you understand my voice and the things that you hear me. Yeah, some of you are going through the same thing, because the people that talk to me had gone through similar situations with the death and dying of a loved one. So it was really great to get the ideas and the thoughts and the feelings and the comfort from those folks that I've talked to. Um, yeah, yeah, it was very, very comforting to know that there are people that will comfort you in your time of need. As you comfort others, you know, it's important that you comfort others so that you too can be comforted when you need it, because you will need it. We all do. You know, my mother was a very staunch religious woman, very Christian in her faith, and it was great to see some of the tokens of uh, her beliefs around her as she transitioned, and to know that without a shadow of a doubt, I hear people say, they share their condolences at my loss. I didn't lose anything. I did not lose anything. My mother transitioned. Your loved one will transition. You will transition. You're not lost. Nothing's lost. Nothing is lost. It just changes its energy source and returns back to where it was. I believe that's what Einstein said. Energy is neither lost nor wasted, just transitions back. I believe it was Einstein, I'm not sure. But the bottom line is the energy is not lost. I didn't lose anything. My mother's not lost, and she doesn't need to be found. She's where she needs to be, and she's back to where she was before time ever was for her. Just like that same place that you and I will return to when it's our turn. It's not a moment of sadness. I feel no sadness. I feel no sadness. I really don't. I feel a little disconnect because she's gone now, and that's something that I will. Even if someone was sharing with me day by day, that you're going to you'll feel that. But yes, my father has already transitioned, and I've worked through that, and I'll work through this. It's okay to just remind myself on a daily basis that she has returned to source. She's returned to that place before she ever was. There's no pain, there's no religiosity, there's nothing there that we can identify, because it's nothing that we've ever experienced before. It's beyond our experience, but it is something that I believe is not hurtful. I don't believe it's anything to be to be weary or afraid of. I don't think it's anything like that. I don't believe it's what religion has shared and tried to give us. Believe that the Creator is much more compassionate than that. Religion may not be, but the Creator is compassionate to degrees that we could never imagine. Compassionate and loving and kind. So I just wanted to share this because there's so many of us who have, who are, and will face the issues of death and dying. I share my personal experience with you because I'm hoping that it'll encourage someone. I'm hoping that it'll comfort someone. Now, for those that are left behind, we have to come to a place of understanding and to appreciating and to reconciling ourselves with their memory because they're gone. They're gone. So the reconciliation comes with you reconciling with yourself about the memory of that individual because they are gone. They're gone. All the stuff that these movies and all these stuff, it's malarkey. The person is gone. But what you do have is the opportunity to embrace the memories of that person. So that person is always with you. Now it's your choice how you choose to remember them. I choose the good. I choose the compassionate. I choose the loving and the kind. I choose that which brings a smile and a laugh. Spoke with my nephew today, whose mother passed a year ago, maybe less than a year ago. I'm not sure the exact date, but we laughed. We laughed as he shared some of the things that my mother did for him as a child and that he remembered. That's how we embrace them. That's how we remember them. That's how we keep them. When we're sharing moments of laughter, they're there with us. They're with us. Why? Because they're in our hearts, they're in our minds, they're in our memories that we have. So they are still alive to us. They're not in body, but in our minds and in our souls. That's important to know. Now, some of us don't have those memories because it wasn't the best of relationships. I know. I understand. Believe me, I do. But one thing that we can be thankful for, no matter what, no matter how the relationship came out or good, bad, or indifferent, if it wasn't for those people, you wouldn't be here. So for that and that alone, we are thankful and grateful. Right? We're thankful and grateful because we're here today, and we wouldn't be without them. So regardless of what they've done or what they failed to do, we have to have gratitude and thankfulness for that person. So we can remember, if we can't remember anything, we can remember that because I'm here today because of them. And I wouldn't be here without them. And so I'm thankful for life, health, strength, and the ability to remember that if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. That's all you can remember. Remember that. But if you're able to remember the good times, the memories, the times of joy, of sharing, of holidays, of birthdays, of intimate conversations, moments that you record in your mind, because that's what you have left of them. Embrace them. Hold on to them. Because that's how you keep them with you. Okay? That's how you keep them with you. My mother, I take solace in that I was the last one she spoke to. At least that's what the hospice nurse that was tending to my mother told me. So I'm I think that that is something that I will never forget. I don't need to lie about it. I don't need to. The bottom line is, I spoke with my mother, and I was told that I was the last one to speak to her. I was the last one, the last voice she heard. I'm definitely thankful for that. I'm thankful for that. And so create those things for you. You know, you have loved ones that say that they're not going to do this and they're not going to do that because they're remembering the hurt. They're remembering the negative. Don't do that. Don't hold on to the negative. Don't hold on to the negative. As much as possible, remember them positive and the that which brings a smile, as I said earlier. That's what we remember. That's how we embrace them. And that's how we keep them. Death and dying, it really is a real issue. So if you would do me a favor, would you like, would you do that? Would you subscribe? Would you hit the notification bell? Um, I would very much appreciate it because death and dying is something that we have to ruminate, elevate, and to activate it concerning in all our lives. In all our lives, it's something that we have to really, really deal with because it's real. It's a part of life. And you know, we were young, and now the ancient scriptures say that, or the biblical narrative says that I once was old, young, but now I'm old. But I've never seen those that trust in the Creator forsaken. So we know that this is not a bad time. It is a good time, a time of appreciation. I appreciate my mother. To appreciate something is to esteem value to it, to recognize its intrinsic value. Value those. And the most incredible thing that I've been granted was an opportunity to spend time with her before she transitioned. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. So create those things for yourself. Create those things for between you and your loved one. Never allow anything to separate you from that. There's so many ways that you can be with your loved one in these days, whether that's virally, telephonically, or in person. However, there's so many ways. There's no excuses for not being with a loved one in their time of transition. Put down the hurt, the harm, and all the other bad memories. Get away from that. You don't want to let that stop you from your last opportunity to reconcile. Put it away. It serves you no good. None. Absolutely none. So you want to grant the wish as much as possible of those that are transitioning, whatever that may be. Know that you've done the best that you can do, whatever that is. Whether that's to be there or not to be there. Whatever it is, but there's a way that you can reach out and make an attempt to do something, to say something, to make that reconciliation. And if you've done that, you've done the best that you could do. Take solace in that. Take solace in that. Well, I appreciate you being able to allow me to share this time. I know so many people have so many other things to do, but it's May the 11th, 2023, and my mother transitioned. This is G. Alpha Palmer